So I'm going to show you the stuff we need for today, and we can get cooking. Okay, so we have our 12 large eggs. We have our suji, which is also called, well, that's the Indian name for it, but it's semolina. Butter, salted butter. We also have our brown sugar, demerara sugar. We have our filling, our fruit. We also need some wax paper, wax on, wax off, those of you from my generation. And we need 2 8-inch cake tins and some of these. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the step by step, and we can crack on and hopefully get this cake in the oven. So we've got 2 8-inch cake tins with double lined. I'm not very good at lining. I hate it. It's one of the things I hate doing. Now, when you're using oil, don't use oil. Use butter, because you'll find that if you use oil, it'll seep through. All the smell will seep through. So you're best off using butter. Double line it, and there we go. So we're going to clear the decks and get ready for the next stage. What we need to do is we've got our suji in here. I've measured out the butter. Now what we actually need to do is we have to roast this a little bit, so it's warm, not hot and not brown. Okay, and then we have to put this into a mixie bowl and get ready to mix it. You can get this pre-toasted. If you want to get it pre-toasted, that's fine, but I always like getting it not pre-toasted and doing it. So we're going to brown this. And I'm going to come back to you when this is nicely brown. Not that you're going to see anything, because you don't want to really watch the cake. That's pretty much done. It should really look too different, but you want to keep continuously stirring it. It shouldn't get brown in any place. What I've done is I've put the butter into the same pan that I toasted the semolina in. Add the semolina back into here. And we're going to no heat. I've just got it near the oven, but there is no heat in there. Let me see if I can get it a bit and just kind of mix this in. Let's get this off there. There we go. After a little bit of working your arms, this is what it should look like. This is the Asian equivalent of your flour base, which obviously isn't, well, I suppose it is kind of a flour, but this is the Asian version. That's nice. Okay, so we're going to keep this to a side, and now we're going to do the eggs. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to separate the eggs. So we've got 1 egg, obviously making sure your hands are washed. Separate the egg. And the egg yolk goes into there. Okay, and that's what we have to do to all 12 eggs. So now we have our eggs, and we've got our demerara sugar. We put the 2 together. Then we're going to mix it. Now, I am not going to mix this by hand. I'm just going to get it started, because we have to mix it till it's pale. We mix this till this goes pale. So I'm going to come back to when it's pretty pale. Now we have to get our there we go, fruit. And mix it in. If you can, I would say do this in 1 spoon at a time. just to ensure all of it is mixed. Okay, so this is the last of the fruit. For those of you who noticed in my instructions, I should have put the semolina in first instead of the fruit. But you know something? I don't think it really matters. Now we will add, in reverse order, our semolina. We have to whisk up the egg whites. We're nearly at a point where the egg whites are done, as you can see there. Pretty much okay. Add 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these. Just to slacken the mixture a bit. Because what we're going to do, once this gets a bit easier to mix, fold in the egg whites. So folding is a process where you're actually not mixing, but you are trying to get the air in there. Does that make sense? Like that. And you want to do it about half of those eggs, like that. I'm back in a sec. And you want to get it so it's not too wet, and you'll kind of work that out. You want to just get it to a good consistency where you can spoon it into the baking trays. I think that's about it. This is a wee bit slacker than I want, but hey, I don't think. I think that's good. Right. To 275. It's time to say goodnight to Napoli. And when that's ready, we're going to start cooking it. Tins, that's already. Spoon the mixture in. Equally between the two tins. You know how to do this. Okay, so I have one cake here, half a cake here. I'm sure these aren't 8-inch tins. I thought they were 8-inch tins, but that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe I'm going to try a different one next time. I'm going to try a round tin. And of course the best bit is that is good. The cake batter is good. So what we're going to do is wait for this hit temperature and then cook them. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cook them for half an hour. Then to stop them, just cook them for an hour and a half. And then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so I've just checked the cake and it still needs some more time. That's looking better. Now I think I'm gonna bang it on a bit higher, but because I'm going out, I don't have time to monitor it, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to be, so I'm going to just leave it in the oven and then come back and then have a look and see what temperature I need to raise it up to, or maybe actually leaving it in that the temperature as it is might to help. So I'll come back to you in a little bit. 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 3 hours in the oven, switched off, has kind of done it. So what I'm going to do now is leave this to cool. I'm in a bit of a rush, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you what they look like. But so far that's looking nice, very nice. So come back in a little bit. Here we go, we've got them out. You have to let it really cool. It's a nice crispy kind of a crust on there, which is what you should have. And as you saw on the back, on the bottom, there was the darkish color, which is good. So the temperature I gave you was correct. Actually could have probably done with a little bit longer, but you need to really cook this slow and long. Unfortunately I left it for 3 hours because that's how long I had before I came back. But maybe 2 hours, or with 1 hour in a oven which is switched off. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out and see what it looks like. Okay, so if we look very carefully, this is the color it should be. Let's see if you can see there's a little bit of a crust there, and this has come out very good. I've got my my cake and a half. I'll have to try and work out why for next time what's going wrong with these measurements, but the measurements are good. Maybe I need to double the measurements, I'm not sure. But anyway, I can see that this looks pretty good. So what we have to do now is we have to poke some holes in here very carefully with a fork or a skewer or something, and then we have to coat it with our brandy. So we'll do that now. Make sure your hands are washed. When you want to put the fork in various places, make sure that the cake doesn't come apart. It shouldn't really. Actually it feels very moist. The cake feels nice and moist, so it hasn't been overcooked, because this needs to set, needs to marinate, and I would say between at least a month, about 4 weeks, because otherwise it needs to do its stuff. Just trust me. Approximately 2 tablespoons of our brandy. So we've got our brandy in here. Get a tissue or something like that. This works as well. And just over there, like that. And we got a bit of brandy here. Ah, yeah. So I don't drink that much, but I'm not going to waste that. So that's probably about enough brandy as you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to cling wrap it in foil and save it. So let's do that. Make sure your hands are washed. When you want to put the fork in various places, make sure that the cake doesn't come apart. It shouldn't really. Actually it feels very moist. The cake feels nice and moist, so it hasn't been overcooked, because this needs to set, needs to marinate, and I would say between at least a month, about 4 weeks, because otherwise it needs to do its stuff. Just trust me. Approximately 2 tablespoons of our of our brandy. So we've got our brandy in here. Get a tissue or something like that. This works as well. And just over there, like that. And we got a bit of brandy here. Ah, yeah. So I don't drink that much, but I'm not going to waste that. So that's probably about as enough brandy as you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to cling wrap it. Make sure your hands are washed. When you want to put the fork in various places, make sure that the cake doesn't come apart. It shouldn't really. Actually, it feels very moist. The cake feels nice and moist, so it hasn't been overcooked because this needs to set, needs to marinate, and I would say between at least a month, about 4 weeks, because otherwise it needs to do its stuff. Just trust me. Approximately 2 tablespoons of our brandy. So we've got our brandy in here. Get a tissue or something like that. This works as well. And just over there, like that. And we got a bit of brandy here. Ah, yeah. So I don't drink that much, but I'm not going to waste that. So that's probably about as enough brandy as you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to cling wrap it in foil and save it. So let's do that. Now they're airtight because they really need to go into an airtight tin. But if you don't have an airtight tin big enough, which some people don't, that's fine. So now what we have to do is, once we've done that, we have to just wrap it up in foil. We need to keep it in a... Now they're airtight because they really need to go into an airtight tin. But if you don't have an airtight tin big enough, which some people don't, that's fine. So now what we have to do is, once we've done that, we have to just wrap it up in foil. We need to keep it in a... There we go. I have to try and find a nice cool place to put it. I have actually an idea where I can put it. Put it in a nice cool place. What you can do now is, for a week, if you want to ice it, leave it for a week, then you can ice it. Use a nice marzipan. Marzipan, then white icing. If it's a Christmas cake, if it's a because people use this also as a wedding cake, marzipan and ice it. You can otherwise just use it as a fruit cake. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I might do one as a ice cake and marzipan, the other one as not. But we'll see how we go. Either way, this must be left for at least a week. Traditionally, we leave it for Christmas. So we've got about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks left. So, and once I've finished that, I'm going to start on my love cake, and we'll take it from there. So thanks for watching. You'll see the outcome of this closer to Christmas. So, Adrian J, say take it easy. Catch you later.